Hey everyone, here at the Voiceflow engineering team, we've been hard at work to make Voiceflow the most dependable and extensible creative tool for all channels and use cases. This is marked by a monumental shift to open sourcing all of our conversational components so that there is no limit to what businesses and creators can build on Voiceflow. You'll be amazed at the level of customization that Voiceflow can now offer. Now here's a small taste of everything that's now possible with your Voiceflow project.
The current balance on your Visa account is $6,420. Would you like more details about your Visa account?
The diagrams you create on Voiceflow are beautiful to look at. They present complex conversations in a simple design language. However, these diagrams don't inherently do anything by themselves. It's the Voiceflow Dialog engine that brings your conversations to life. You're probably already familiar with this engine since it powers all your existing Alexa skills, Google Actions, and test tool prototypes on Voiceflow. And now with this engine, you can run your Voiceflow project on any interface. This will be incredible for prototyping and launching your vision. The ultimate goal is to allow you to design and create your project with our incredible Canvas system, and let you fully own the production and execution with access to our Dialog engine. Over the past year, we've rebuilt the Dialog engine from the ground up to be incredibly versatile, ready to adapt to any channel. For our select customers who want to tinker with the engine, it is highly modular, allowing you to mix and match conversational components such as natural language processing, dialogue management, and text-to-speech, and much more. For example, you could build a Raza chatbot or have Amazon Lex NLP along with Google WaveNet TTS. But even without any modification to the engine, we offer an end-to-end solution out of the box. You can make use out of our hosted engine, the same one that drives the test tool, to power your conversations. And for those already developing on Google Assistant and Alexa, all these changes will mean even more support for native features to supercharge your workflow. You'll be able to hook up custom analytics, define assistant behavior, and tweak details like never before. Let's talk about all the new features.
Here at Voiceflow, we understand how painful the handoff between design and development can be. That is why when building our Dialog engine, we aim to provide teams with the best experience while prototyping and developing, as well as making that transition as smooth as possible. We know that developers require flexibility and extendability in the frameworks they use, but we are also focused on improving their productivity. We believe that each phase in the creation of a great conversation should add value to the final product and avoid spending time on repeating the same work. To do that, we built an SDK that allows the developer to repurpose the work that the designer has already accomplished. This means that every design on Voiceflow is deployable and ready to be customized. No more duplicating work between prototyping and developing. Our Dialog engine and SDK ecosystem have so many cool features, so I want you to go over some of the core ones with you. Our Dialog engine is a ready-to-use service with no configuration required, reachable by our users via the web. We have also built an SDK ecosystem with libraries you can use to interface with our engine from your project with any programming language. We decided to make all of this open source, so you can make use and contribute into our ecosystem even for niche technologies. Once deployed, our Dialog engine enables the designer to make continuous updates to the content and flows of their project with zero work required from the developer. Updates to your Voiceflow project will be available instantly, allowing users access to changes without any additional pushes or backlog. The biggest pain point while building a conversation experience as a developer is handling state management. As your project scales, code can get very complex. For this reason, many apps on the market rely on linear and unnatural paths. However, conversations are evolving, and to support the growing need for more complex and customizable experiences, we've developed a brand new way to handle state transitions for you. With Voiceflow v2, the flows within your project get translated automatically into our engine to support any transitions, no matter how complex they get. Conversations are not region-specific. Our users come from all over the world. That is why our system currently supports 19 languages with more set to come. We wanted to make our Dialog engine a ready-to-use service with minimal configuration required. That is why we added a series of advanced features that are a common requirement for most conversation apps. Our new Dialog engine comes with natural language processing and dialogue management out of the box, enabling your conversation experience to be smart and flexible to the user's utterances. Another common requirement for conversation apps is text-to-speech ability. We have now baked that into our engine, allowing you to choose from some of the most sought-after voices in the industry, like Amazon Polly, Google WaveNet, and Azure. And of course, we couldn't stop by only having audio output capabilities. With the new SDK, we took the automatic speech recognition system that lives in our canvas and baked it into our engine as well. So now every project, whether it's hosted on Voiceflow or elsewhere, supports both speech and audible responses. Voiceflow's drag-and-drop interface is great for quick iterations, but we know that developers require more. That is why we built a system that is easily extensible and open source. With Voiceflow's new Dialog engine, you can add your own services and blocks based on your app's unique requirement, essentially allowing the developer to own their system while we help make them more productive. At Voiceflow, we take privacy very seriously. That is why we do not store any user session in our hosted Dialog engine. But you don't have to take our word for it. You can go check out our open source project yourself. Finally, to give all our enterprise customers using Voiceflow some peace of mind, our new Dialog engine can be self-hosted, meaning the development and execution phase of your conversation app happens entirely on your infrastructure, making it easy for companies to handle HIPAA, GDPR, CCPA, or any other compliances. From here, you can extend this modular system with your own NLP, ASR, and TTS components. Now that we have gone over some of the core features of Voiceflow's Dialog engine, I'd like to show off how easy it is to use our brand new SDK. To showcase how easy it is to use our brand new Dialog engine SDK, we have built a simple HTML page for a bank. This website also includes a chat window which we can try out right away. As you can see, we get "sorry, I have not been implemented yet." So let's hop on into the codebase and make our chat window come to life. Our codebase is very simple. It's mostly an HTML page in which we have already imported our Dialog engine SDK, as well as some CSS for styling and some JavaScript to handle our chat window events. This logic lives inside of our controller, which makes use of the chat class to get a response to each user input. The chat class currently has two methods and a state attribute. Start interaction is used when our chat window is first opened. Interact is used every time the user submits an input, and the state tells us when the conversation has ended. As you can see, both start interaction and interact are currently only returning our placeholders of "welcome, how can I help you?" and "sorry, I have not been implemented yet." To implement our chat class, we will make use of our Dialog engine SDK, which I have already imported up top. The first step is instantiating the Dialog client. The only required option is our version ID. Here we are reusing our bank chatbot Voiceflow project. The Dialog client by default exposes a trace for all the speak blocks, but because we also want to handle visuals in our chat window, we are including the visuals type as well. Other advanced types like audio and chips could also be included in this array as well. Now, let's implement the start interaction method first. I'll replace this placeholder with the actual implementation. Starting our Dialog Engine SDK will return us a context which contains the state of the conversation as well as a series of traces which dictate the output that needs to be presented to the user. Let's create the function that processes this context. First, we make sure to set our state is ended with the value that the context is holding. Then, we take all the responses from the context and we pass them through the trace processor. To create the trace processor, we will make use of a helper builder from our SDK, which creates this processor for us. For each type we need to handle, in our case speak and visual, we pass a function which takes a trace and returns our output. Now the last thing left implemented is our interact method. In case our conversation has ended, we will call start again. Otherwise, we just call send text. This returns us the context, and we handle it as we did previously through the process context method. This is all we needed to implement for our chat window to come to life. Now let's try it out. As we can see, the conversation flow from our Voiceflow project is now being used. We can see the visuals and the speak blocks being shown on the screen. Now let's go through the flow. I'd like to transfer money. I'll send this to Tyler, and the amount will be 25. The reason is for dinner. And yes, I'm ready to make the transfer. Here we can see the confirmation that the transfer happened, as well as a visual confirming the same. Now let's end the flow. So our chat window now is fully functioning by us implementing our Dialog Engine SDK in our project. The great thing about using our SDK is that the code presented in this example is identical for all use cases. A custom chatbot in your website like here, or a messenger bot will share the same SDK implementation, letting the developer focus on their app logic instead of having to develop the conversation logic as well. That is built on our tool, and any updates to Voiceflow project will appear immediately in your app as well. Now that we have seen how to use our SDK with just a handful of lines of code, let's talk about how to get access to our Dialog Engine and SDK ecosystem.
While this presentation may have been very hands-on and technical, you can be assured that even as we build out developer-oriented features, we will always have a plan to build a visual layer on top to allow for a seamless low-code experience. We will be slowly adding in easy click-to-upload integrations to these new channels, just like how you would upload to Alexa. As for next steps, we'll be providing a sign-up newsletter for anyone interested in receiving a developer SDK starting package through email. It will contain demos, documentation, and any additional details you need to get started running Voiceflow on any interface.
You've just seen some of the great new features that are now available in Voiceflow. So let's discover a new way to use them. I'm Nico, customer support and studio lead at Voiceflow. Let's talk about the brand new Voiceflow desktop app. We've created the Voiceflow desktop app to allow you to optimize your workflow and works faster. Voiceflow is a professional tool, so it deserves a desktop app like your other Pro tools. Voiceflow's desktop app receives live updates to ensure it's always in sync with the latest features, including everything you saw today at V2. And we've gone further and added custom plugin on top of it to take advantage of the new VF file and its flexibility for plugin creation. Thanks to its dynamic menu, you will be able to access the tools and links related to the project you are working on, such as Converter, Developer Console, Migration Tools, and more. The .vf file allows for the creation of a vibrant plugin ecosystem to build third-party tools on top of Voiceflow. For now, we are building these plugins ourselves, but we plan on opening up this capability to everyone. For starters, we have 2 plugins included in the initial desktop app release, including the project conversion tools and the Dialog export. This is only the start for Voiceflow's professional desktop app and early plugin ecosystem. We can't wait to see what you do with it. The desktop app beta is available on Mac, Windows, and Linux today, and a link will be shared with you in the in-app product notification later today.